How's it going, YouTubers? Cornwolf here. Thank you for joining me for another video today. And today we've got my impressions, thoughts and whatnot of The Division. So we've just wrapped up this past Monday the open beta. The guys over at Ubisoft were grateful enough to let us all get our hands on the game. I personally was fortunate enough to get on the closed beta and the open beta, so I've managed to sink my teeth into the game quite a bit with what they've allowed us to get into, and I can honestly say my first impressions are it's great. A lot of my friends and a lot of people on the old soc have said that they didn't want to try it because they'd heard a lot of bad things about it, and they're a bit I don't know, I don't know the right word, but they just didn't feel hyped for it, or they just didn't feel the love. I'm not sure who these people were that were giving it a bad review and saying it wasn't all that, whether it's because they've seen the whole game or whatnot, I don't know. I have had a look through the internet, not found anything myself, but I'm just going to tell you about what I thought, what a few of my friends have thought, and a few people that I've played with. But if I'm honest, I think the game is great. It's off to a good start. I do think that Ubisoft had a bad spell when they had the Watch Dogs and they had Assassin's Creed Unity, where they had quite a few glitchy things, and Watch Dogs looked better than what it actually was. But it's not the video. This video is not about that. It's about The Division, and I think this shows that Ubisoft are back up there, they're back on top, bringing us something fresh, and that's something you can always guarantee from Ubisoft. They might sometimes miss the mark, but they always try and up the ante, change it, and make you feel immersed into the game, and that's exactly what The Division does. So The Division, for the people that are watching this video that don't know what it's about, by the way, excuse me, the footage that you've seen in the background is just me playing the beta, and I'm going to do a few tips videos and things like that going on. So look at the video, but the conversation that we're having now doesn't really relate to it. It's just a bit of background footage for you all. But so the Division is basically a virus pandemic or epidemic has gone out throughout the whole of New York. I think I read somewhere it might be smallpox or something like that, but anyway, it's quite a deadly virus that's gone out, and it's around Black Friday, so the end of Thanksgiving and the start of the Christmas period over in America, or the holiday period, whatever you want to call it these days, and that's spread out, and that is very quickly and very rapidly taken down all the major services and all those amenities that come with that, so that the water stops running, they're running out of food, and basically the state goes a bit nuts. And what you're a Division agent who I believe is specially trained. You've been dropped in to some training, but you're actually a civilian as well, so you're not like the FBI or SWAT or a Navy SEAL or something like that. You're actually just a general citizen that's highly trained, and when the shit hits the fan, you get a phone call and you ready up and go and help the situation. So you're a Division agent who's there to help basically restore order, restore the services, medical supplies, running water and things like that. So that's what you are, and there's camps set up around various places in New York, which we'll get to shortly. And then also there are the bad guys, which are the cleaners, and then there's rioters and things like that. So there's quite a big dynamic around the game. In the beta, you dropped in straight at level 4. I'm not sure that's how it is in the full game or not. The customization of the characters is fantastic. There's lots to do. In the beta, you just had, I think it was probably about 10 different presets for a male or a female. But in the actual full game, you can actually see this going into a lot of detail with what you can do, and they look really good. There's little camps set up where people are getting ready to go out and help try and save people, and like safe zones. There are contaminated zones, so you have to wear a little special mask to be able to get through these areas, and there's different stages of those masks as well, so you can't just go straight into these contaminated areas straight away. It does play and feel very much like an MMO. It's very open world, and there's a massive RPG element to it. You have abilities where it could be anything from a pulse, where it will send out a electronic pulse, if you like, which shows where enemies are, and it also gives you a bit of a buff, which is like crit damage and things like that. You get like a rocket launcher, grenade launcher kind of thing, where you fire off like a sticky grenade, and then you can trigger that off and detonate that off a group of guys, and then also there's a riot shield. They're the three main things that we had throughout the beta, and you can hot swap between them, so you're not stuck to one. And then there are talents and perks on top of that as well, so I believe that in the full game it's going to be quite complex as to how you build your character and what perks you go for, and it does very much seem that they've stripped it down to a very, very basic structure, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But you basically have health, you have your DPS, which is damage per second for anybody that doesn't know and isn't familiar with various role-playing jargon, if you like. But you have your DPS, which basically increases how quickly you can take someone down and how much damage you actually output. And then you have your tech skill, which basically increases how effective and how good the tech is that you're using. So if you've got a really high tech skill but a low DPS, you might want to go for healing, and then you can dish out a few healing bombs and things, which you do upgrade later in the beta. Well, a little bit of a rhyme there for you. But anyway, the game is really good. For anybody that hasn't tried it, I do thoroughly recommend that you give it a go, watch some streams. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any more betas now, because the game is, we're probably just about 2 weeks away from release, and I am 100% getting the game. So you'll be able to see quite a bit of footage from me from that. The game's got such a depth to it as well. I was helping a friend and colleague of mine out who just wanted to help with a few missions, so you can pair up and you can do things on your own, but the most fun is when you pair up. We were running down the streets of New York. I couldn't tell you what street it was, I'm not too familiar with it, but then there was a bit of a snowstorm, so you've got that element as well, and it's like running through thick fog. I knew where we were going because we'd set a waypoint and we were running down to go and help him on this mission or pick something up, and then the next thing I knew, I ran into a gang of rioters, managed to hit one with the nub of my gun and hide behind cover, and then we had to take them down, and it was just an element to the game which was fantastic, that it just means that it's very organic, and things do change quite a bit. The cover system works fantastically. You hide behind the cover can get blown away, but then it's quite easy to swap cover. You can move around the cover quite easily, so if an enemy is moving around with you, you can actually move around the cover, and then you can press and hold the A button on the Xbox, and you'd actually jump over or move to the next bit of cover, and it works really, really well. And the game is just full of so much stuff. My only worries are that I hope this fun factor and that those elements don't run out and get too boring too quickly, but I don't think they will. I think they've learned from the mistakes from Watch Dogs, where that looked really good and it was hacking, and that's all you seem to do is run around, shoot a mofo, hack something, and that was that really. But this is just really, really good. You get a base of operations, which I think is in the library or something like that. It's near Madison Square Garden anyway. Unfortunately, I've never been to New York, so on my list of places to go, because it looks like a fantastic city anyway. But anyway, you get this base of operations, and you get a medical part, a security part, and a tech part, and you have to go and do various missions, and you have to do various rescue operations and different things to get these different tech, these different points operational. And the more that they increase, the more it'll help you with your ability to heal something. So in the medic pit, you'll get more medical parts and perks and talents and different things like that, and the same with the tech and the security. And I believe that actually helps the environment around your base of operations as well. I'm not sure if you get a number of these different places to go where you need to go and help and restore different things. And then one of the main missions was you were actually in Madison Square Garden, and you have to work your way up to the roof where the main bad guy is, who's holding these medical supplies, one of these rioters, and you have to take him down. Once you've taken him down, you've got these medical supplies, you go back, and then that gives you a good boost to get your medical bay up and running. But one of the best things is you're right up in the rafters, right above the scoreboard and different things for the basketball games, and if you look down from the rafters, you can actually see where you've come from and see the dead bodies. And one of the guys that was in the party with me, because you can change the difficulty, we had actually done it on a hard difficulty, said, "Oh, I forgot to loot something down there," and he could see a green little splodge of an enemy where he'd not looted it, and it was something green. I think he went back to go and get it later on, but and that was just a really nice touch. Sometimes in games like this, where you do go up and down a level, and once you start to get so high up, it kind of fades out as if you physically can't see that far, or there might be a bit of a cloud or something like that. But it was really good that you could see that, as well as blowing up the environment and different things like that, which is really, really good. There are guys in here as well in the game which are cleaners, and these are guys that have got flamethrowers on them, and if they get called out to say, right, there's a contaminated area here, and they basically go around with a flamethrower and they don't give a shit, and they're just burning the crap out of everything. But it does make for some good gameplay if you manage to get a really good shot off, clip their canister on the back, and it's big bada boom, which you all know if you've seen me playing Dying Light and Grand Theft Auto and things like that. I love to blow shit up. It's just what I like to do. I like to shoot the gas canisters and different things like that. So I was scaring the crap out of my mate when I had my sniper rifle, and I was just picking them off near him, and they were blowing up, which is really good fun. But this is just the PvE area, which is player versus environment, and then you've got the PvP, so player versus player, and you actually go into what's called the Dark Zone. And the Dark Zone is a contaminated area where they've managed to pen in a certain area of the virus and different things, but that's where you get the biggest loot. Once you're in this area, you can actually shoot at each other if you want to, and then you go rogue, but that's not really recommended because you tend to get your ass handed to you. But there are also harder enemies in there, and that's where you tend to get a lot of the good loot. It's just a little bit frustrating when you can only carry 6 bits of loot to start off with in the beta at least, of contaminated goods, and you have to fire up a flare to get that extracted. They clean it off and then it's in your store. But when you fire off that flare, it lets everyone know in your instance, so in the same game as you, if you like, that you've just set up a flare and you're about to drop off some stuff, which normally means you've got some good stuff, and people tend to kill you, which is a bit of a pain, but it is so much good fun. It's really good laugh doing it with your friend, and there's just so much dynamic to the game, and you'll be running around and you'll go down an alley and there'll be just some random guy asking for help, or you're stopping people fighting each other. There'll be someone that will walk up to you asking you for like an energy bar, and you're trying to help them there, and just hearing the enemies talking and the people that are there to help you as well, the other agents and things. So the game is really, really good. I can't praise it enough. I just hope there is that end content, which I know has been an issue with the Division. Not the Division, sorry, with Destiny. I don't want to compare the two games because I do believe they're quite different. But the problem for me with Destiny is once you get to the high level and you've done some of those end raids, that's it. There's not a lot else to do. And it is normally the case with a lot of games, but at least with the things like WoW and World of Warcraft and different things like that, there are still little missions to do, and you can look after your crops, or you can go and sort out your garrison and things like that. So I really hope they've put some thought into the end content, because I know people will go batshit crazy once they're on this game, and the people that absolutely adore it, and they'll spend 2 or 3 days or a week getting to that maximum level and go on board. Now that's it, I'm done. So I really hope there is stuff to do there, and there is that barrier, and for the die-hard fans that do want to go out there and just absolutely blitz the game. So like I say, I can't praise it enough. I've got a tips and tricks video coming out. I've spoke about this long enough. I really just hope it does live up to this hype, but I'm very impressed with the beta. It seems to be going really well. I didn't really find any bugs or anything like that. I don't know if you guys did. Drop a few comments below. Let me know what you think to it. Let me know if you're getting it, or you're just going to wait and see what happens if you all think it's one big hype. But I know myself and Stellastig and a few other people are definitely getting the game. And these are people off multi-formats as well, so we'll see what happens. So until next time, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a smash, give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment below, share it with a few friends, and keep your eyes and ears peeled on my channel, because I will be doing a few tips and tricks videos just to get you sorted, and just to explain what to do when you first jump into the game, presuming it's not too different from the main game, so you can just jump straight in and you'll know what to do with a few things. So anyway, I'm waffling on. I'm really sorry about that. See you all on the next video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like it.
The tech wing has obviously seen better days, but if you can get Rhodes back here...